Hello all, this is Parda Seijin here, and today we're going to look at the McFarlane Toys Shinobu Kocho. Shinobu Kocho was a character from the anime Demon Slayer, or Kimetsu no Yaiba as it is known in Japan. It is also a manga series. I will say Shinobu Kocho, the reason I bought her is because she is my favorite character. I liked her pathos, her personality, and her overall design. Very briefly, let's take a look at her box. I admit that I did ruin the inside of the box, but that was to remove her stand. Now this is McFarlane Toys. And there's a picture of her. Very nice. We'll leave that in the background. As for the figure itself, it's a very good one-to-one comparison to the original drawings. Everything from the robe, the uniform, the tabi socks and shoes, and even the butterfly hairpin on the back of her head, it's all very well done. You even get details on her ears. The eyes also appear to be printed on, and it's nicely done. Now it's a little hard to see from here, but I have Shinobu standing on, well, her stand. That is because she has very small feet, and it's very difficult for her to pose. Partially, this is due to the way she's molded. So real quickly, we'll demonstrate her articulation. And every time I let her stand by herself, she topples over. Her arms can go out this far. You can spin them. Her sleeves are also very nice too, I have to admit. Her legs can kick up this far, but they're limited due to the flexible plastic. She also has up and down movement on her feet. And both of her toes can bend. She can look up this far, down this far, and can look from side to side. Now some of her parts, such as her overcoat and her hairpiece, are soft. They're made of a soft, almost rubbery plastic. So are the strands of hair on the sides. I would be careful, and I'm not saying that just because they're soft. I think I have to admit, this is my first McFarlane Toys figure. And when I opened her out of the box, well, I tried to remove one of her alternate hand pieces, but it broke. Whether it's because I was too rough on it, or it was due to lacking plastic quality, whatever the case, I highly recommend that you be very, very careful with any of these McFarlane toys, especially from the Demon Slayers line. To demonstrate, this is what's left of her hand. Her right gripping hand had broken at the peg, and unlike, say, anime heroes or Figma figures, the pegs are actually external rather than internal. So rather you stick the peg into the empty socket, which I personally feel that is a major design flaw. This makes them, with the pegs being external, this makes them a lot more prone to breakage. But it also didn't help that I didn't use a heat gun, excess heat, or a the hot water technique, in order to remove her hands more easily and to loosen up any tight joints. Thankfully, all of her other hands seem to be intact, but for the time being, I will not be replacing or swapping out any of the hands. Shinobu Kocho's accessories include her sword, which has a poisonous barb at the end if you look carefully. It's very hard to focus, but bear with me. It's there. There's also an effect part, which is meant to be her breathing technique. You just slide in the sword like this, with the blade facing this direction. I don't want to risk breaking the figure any further because I really do love this character and the way that she's sculpted, so I'm not going to display her like this. Shinobu's only other hand that I have that survived is a fist. A simple closed fist. However, due to the expressiveness of the character, and besides avoiding another break, I would rather display her with her gripping hand, potentially to hold any smaller items, and a gentle open hand, which, the more I look at it, the fingers on her hands look kinda stubby, like baby hands. Now, I know some people actually like the McFarlane Toys Demon Slayers figures, and that's okay, that's good for them. However, I feel personally that I got ripped off. This figure cost me around 30 bucks, and that was with tax. And the fact that it broke out of the packaging, and that it had this it didn't feel premium, it felt really cheap when I handled it for the first time. Now, it was careless of me when I removed the hand and it ended up breaking. That was my fault, but it was also the way the hands are assembled, with the peg being attached to the hand rather than a ball peg inside of the socket of the wrist. So overall, I'm personally not a fan of the McFarlane Toys Shinobu Kocho. And especially nowadays, there are better options, mainly being the Bandai Ultimate Legends Demon Slayer figures. They are of Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke. This is Parda Seijin, signing out.